All right, I guess something's got to go this side. All right, let's call the meeting to order. Roll call. Everybody here?
Yes.
Taylor. Here. Irvin. Here. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Eric.
Here.
Rochelle. Here. Please stand for prayer and have your phones off, please, or vibrate.
Let
Let's pray, O Lord, that we who serve your people in public office may have your blessings and guidance in our deliberations and decisions, so that what we accomplish here this evening will be just and beneficial to the people we serve.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading and approval of the minutes.
haven't gotten it yet.
Come on, James, let's go.
Easy.
Minutes. Mr. Smith's minutes are attached.
Thank you, sir.
So another hour type thing.
My answer, thanks. Oh,
Your report.
oh, okay.
Yes, George.
I have a couple questions. Well, a couple amendings. Under BHJ, it has I will attend the meeting on 9/26. The meeting I was attending was the Regional Planning Commission. So just a little, we'll attend the Regional Planning Commission meeting. So a little RPC in front of the meeting would make that a little bit clear. See what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah, just put a little like right in front of the meeting, just put like Regional Planning Commission. Just the way it's a little bit clear there. And on the first page for the ordinances, there's record of who brought forth the motion to suspend rules, but there's not a record of who motioned and who seconded for the approval of those two ordinances. And I don't know. Anybody have that? I may.
Peter, the motion rule to be suspending for 50 seconds, or you seconded?
Yeah, that's to suspend the rules, but then as far as who actually made the motion to approve the ordinance.
Was that me that said that? Did I say that?
You weren't here.
Oh, the last one, okay.
I think Jody did the first one.
I'm thinking I
have to
did
go to the
too.
replay.
All right, I have on the first one. Oh wait, you motioned
I
to
used to
suspend the rules.
detail notes like that. I don't keep them that detailed anymore. Yeah. 2 motions, 2 seconds. Yeah.
Oh wait, I think the first one, you motioned to suspend the rules and actually motioned to approve, because I have you motioning to approve and Julie Lynn seconding the 29, the 19 ordinance, which was the finance and ambulance,
Okay.
and the fire personnel.
So who motioned to approve?
The first one, 2018-19,
Right.
Adam made the motion, Julie Lynn seconded, and it was a 5-0 vote, of course, as you said there, to adopt the ordinance.
Yes.
And then 2018-20, I motioned to, also I guess I motioned also to accept it, and Julia Lynn also seconded to adopt. Yeah, I don't have the record as far as suspending rules, but I do have the record as far as the ordinance itself. And a 5-0 vote is also recorded. But those are the only things that popped out to me in looking over that quickly. Yeah, I don't see anything else.
You got all the changes?
As far as I can see, yeah, let's see that.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept the minutes from Tuesday, September 25th as presented, pending the changes that George has suggested.
Second?
Bertel?
Yes.
Harry?
Yes.
Irwin?
Yes.
Mueller?
Yes.
Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Shoots.
Any petitions or communications? Okay. We're gonna go into the audience participation off the bat here. And audience, I'll give you 5 minutes or 4 minutes. I'll tell you when your time's up. And we're gonna start over with you, Ryan. You have to state your name.
Yeah, Ryan Savane, 119 Maple Avenue and 120 Orchard Street. I'd like to have the city consider possible abandonment of an old alleyway that runs along the end of my property. It would be on North Hill off of Western Avenue, overlooking McClister's where it would run up through. Yeah, McClay Avenue. It's all
Yeah,
woods.
I know what he's talking about. Basically, in order to abandon property, you, Brian, you would be required to provide us with a survey of the property. And you understand that half of the property goes to each property owners on each side.
Uh-huh.
But you would need to send a letter to council, and the next step would be a survey, and then they would be able to make a decision, but it would have to be surveyed.
I have a recent, when I purchased the property, I have a survey that Dattle redid on that end. Would that-
Yeah, what we would need, and he would know exactly, but he could probably do it without coming and surveying it. You would need a legal description of the property that we are abandoning, right, you're asking us to abandon.
Okay.
Because when we go to court, and record that, they'll have to have a description that says this goes this way, this goes this way. And that would take care of it.
Okay.
So he may well be able to do it without actually surveying it. He could probably write the description from the previous survey.
Okay.
But you're asking for what, Ryan?
Abandonment of it, I guess. Yeah.
15 feet or?
Yeah, I think it's 35 foot wide, so roughly 15 and some odd, yeah, 18, 16, 17 feet of it.
How long a process we looking at?
What's that?
How long a process we looking at?
Well, as soon as we get the survey, then council can set a meeting to just to have a public meeting, to have a hearing, and that would be it. If the property owners on both sides don't have an objection, it's pretty much straightforward.
So he has to get permission from them also, or does he have to get any statement from them?
You don't have to get permission from them, but it makes you go, you really don't want them objecting, saying, I don't want that happening.
Yeah,
They own part of it on the Orchard Street end, yeah.
Part of it's ours.
So Ryan, which, is it on McClister or McClay or
It's
Orchard?
McClay.
McClave Avenue.
Or
is-
McClave?
Yeah. Yeah, it says on this map 35 foot wide. Total.
Mr. Wilson, question for you.
Yeah,
He's just asking for his section of it, his part.
can't do it all.
Wait a minute.
Well, you can do it.
There's other property owners up there.
I understand what he's asking for. He's after his section, but there's property owners on both sides of the street.
I ain't worried about both sides of the street. I'm talking
Yes,
about,
but we have to.
I'm talking about his property and our adjacent property. Nobody else like Bill Cristiani or below Santangelo's old property. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about.
Understand, Jack, I understand that.
Okay.
There's an alley, okay, on record. If you abandon it, one half goes to one property, the property owner on one side, one half goes to the property owner on the other side. And that's what you need to survey.
So you can never abandon an alley, a portion of an alley. You have to abandon the whole alley?
If you don't have to abandon the whole alley, you can a portion, you really can't.
A certain legal description.
You would need a certain legal description to do it. But I would recommend, I recommend if you abandon it, you should abandon the whole property unless the property owner objects. But you still have to have the legal description either
Are we
way.
the property owner, partial?
Yeah, we got a partial up there.
Village owns part of it, yeah.
Do we on the other side?
We on the other side
across
of-
from him?
From
The
him.
opposite side, yeah,
So-
well,
That you're saying half, like 17 feet, would the other 17 feet go with both of the two other neighbors that are on this side?
Or go with whoever's on the other side of,
the other side of the alleyway, with half and half, it splits. You would get 17 feet of it, because the city owns part of that too. And then I have a section, my mom has a section, she lives above me and I live below her, so
Okay.
she would get 15 feet, and then I believe the other side where her property is the city property. So, the way I understand it, you would get the other half of that.
So if you get a legal description, it doesn't, that's not where it's bound to then, exactly, right? I mean, because the whole alley's gonna be abandoned, right?
no.
The legal description will define what
We
he's
need the
getting.
legal, no, we need the legal description of the whole area, of the whole alley, the section of the alley that we're abandoning. We can't abandon, we're not abandoning half an alley. We're abandoning the alley.
Okay, so the whole alley will be the legal description,
Yes,
and then they'll identify his portion or not?
yes. That's part of the survey. The survey would identify both sides,
So if you give us a legal description of the whole place, and then they'll give a description of what he wants.
or both sides, right? It's not that it's really not that complicated
Okay,
for the
all right.
surveyor to do.
But
It is, Mr. Wilson, I asked
But
a question.
but running lengthwise,
One at a
because
time.
there's multiple property owners all the way along this alley, lengthwise, he's talking. That's what I believe you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
So you have to, if you're gonna abandon the whole right of way, that affects all
If you're
these property
abandoning
owners
the
on
whole-
both sides.
If you're abandoning the whole right of way, it affects all.
That's what he said,
properties
can you just
on both
abandon
sides.
a section of a right of way,
Yeah.
a legal description of a right of way, or does the
That's what
whole
I'm
right of way
asking.
have to
Could you go from Maple Avenue to Orchard Street?
that's
You
what I'm
can.
asking.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's what I'm asking. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
asking.
don't know,
Because
that's a question.
there's
Yeah,
a
you can
way-
abandon what you want to abandon, but yeah, I would.
So you can,
definitely-
you can
So we can
abandon just
abandon
a
the
section?
portion.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's all I want.
Okay.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Question answered.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ryan?
I believe that's it.
Donnie, you have anything?
Yeah, Donnie Tartar, Mingo, I lived in here 60 years, Patrick Avenue. I got a trailer parked, a box trailer parked in the yard across the street from me, a 30-foot long box trailer. It's so long it has to be put in there cocked. It's a car hauler is what it is. They ought to put that in the front yard, making it look the way it is. And when we had slagged roads, we never had people doing that. People were understanding to each other, not to make their place look like garbage.
Yeah, Donnie, I'm not sure, 'cause I'd have to look at it.
I've seen it, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Anybody who rides by there can see it. It's on the curb.
I think that would fall.
It's on the damn
It's
curb.
been there a while.
I went up after you called me, and then I went and got Joe. Did I not, Joe, call you about Mr. Totter's
That
problem
was a
up
trailer
there?
parked on the street. He moved that trailer. Is that what
He
you're talking
moved
about?
into the yard, didn't
He moved into, is that
He moved the
driveway?
camper in the driveway and put the car hauler in the front yard.
Okay.
He just exchanged two trailers,
Yeah, it doesn't
30
look
foot
pretty.
long.
It doesn't look pretty.
There's nothing in ordinance referring to
How about when Chalky Jackson's son had that trailer in the yard, and what's his name made him,
trailer, yeah.
huh? What about that?
That's
This,
referring
that was in the
Yeah,
yard, this is in the front
recreational
yard.
That's recreational vehicle.
We have to go back and
This would
amend that
fall-
ordinance to include,
So I think we should create a new ordinance for that.
You know, if we let people get away with that, we might as well live outdoors. It's dark, in Mingo it's so dark, and then you park stuff in the front yard.
Is it for his employment or what's it for?
No,
Storage?
it's just storage.
I think it needs to be looked at, I agree with
yeah,
you.
definitely.
And if we have to amend an ordinance, I think we need to look at it. Because I know what he's talking about, I see. it.
Right, I went up after he called me,
I don't
and
like
then I
it.
called Joe up.
Yeah, that was because he parked the camper on the street, which actually he was starting to winterize it on the street. He moved it within a day, he put it in his driveway.
I know we have some on recreational vehicles, but I don't think.
Yeah,
we
they
have
can't be
anything
parked in the front yard.
Yeah,
I don't think
we
we
have
have a fallen
anything.
recreational vehicle.
that- No, and so we have to take a look and see what we can do, because he's right, I mean, you know.
This thing's all the way to the
Sort of
curb. All the way to the curb. And it has to be caulked in the front yard because it's so long, it can't be just straight in. He's blocking the view of the people next to him, but they don't want to say nothing. They don't want to get no trouble. I'm too old to worry about it now, about causing problems. This guy's lived there 2 years. I lived there 60, and he's making my place look like hell.
Okay, Adam, you're chairman of ordinance, look into that, see if we can modify something like that. We'll look in, we will, Tony.
I'm still waiting for Mike to call me. You were supposed to call me.
You know
I
what?
sat by the phone for over a month now. You never called me.
You know what happened in all seriousness? Okay, I'm telling you what. We got new phones in and your number never recorded on there
You know where I
for the
live,
call.
Mike.
And I made sure that I got to him right away, and I personally went up there.
It was moved within a day or two because he was winterizing it. So.
If someone has too much stuff and their yard isn't big enough, they can't have that much stuff. That's all there is to it. You gotta go rent a place to put it.
So, you gotta look at Ernie, see what you have on that.
Yeah. I will.
You will.
I'll get with John and we'll see what we have. And
We'll get back to you,
something,
Bonnie.
we'll do it.
Okay.
We will.
And about people parking on the street. They got a empty driveway, they park on the street. What's with this? You know?
That's horrible all throughout town.
Yeah, that's been a
You
problem.
know, you let one person do it, another one sees that they do it, another one sees that they do it. And that's what we got over this whole town. Cars parked. I couldn't get through where you were parked on the street. You were stopped talking to somebody because cars were both sides of the street.
If there's signs on the street says no parking, a sign, and that's.
There ain't no signs in Mingo on the
That's-
parking on the streets.
So,
But they got empty driveways.
that's just the problem, it's been going on for years, and you know that, yeah.
That's because somebody let it get started.
That's what they're. All right, Donnie, we'll get back, I will get back to you.
Okay.
Marty, you have anything?
I'm not good.
Okay, Patty,
Just something that happened today.
state your name.
The bottom, Patty Manarino, 415 Edward Street. The bottom of Logan, somebody is having roofing done and they have a big dumpster. There's no reflectors on it,
I know
there's
what you're
no
gonna say, because when I come
cones.
home from work last night, I was thinking the same thing.
I saw this today.
And they're about done up there when I come down.
But still at night, and if it's
2 o'clock when I come home last night.
foggy,
Yeah, I was thinking the same
That's
thing. I should have had a
dangerous.
cone there or something, or reflectors on there. Yes. I mean, if it's up there tomorrow, Joe, or whatever, say something to them, they should be getting it out of there
Their
soon.
supervisor, they're gonna have one there, just wanna put it on the curb the best you can so they don't block the traffic.
but still when you have a car coming down, because they won't stop.
Some people go for just about anything.
But, I mean, at least they're doing something to get that out of there and stuff, so. you gotta
If
get
they
it
could
right.
just put cones there or
Right there.
something
Right.
until
I
they're,
agree, I agree.
it's dangerous,
Okay, thanks.
especially at night.
Okay, John, I'll get to you when your report comes up. And my report, now, I mean, to me, I'll just say right off the bat, I mean, I seen the ambulance, it looks great. You know, I went through it Saturday, you know, and, yeah, I think maybe you should have we could put something in the paper where people come down, have it outside and look at it or what have you, or to see it. And just, you know, open the doors or whatever. I mean, that's up to you. You can say that in your report. Another thing is, and Jeff, I don't know if you want to say it about the Lions Club and,
The Halloween thing?
yeah, you want to talk about that for a little bit right now, or you?
We can do that now if you want.
Okay, Lions Club and the Mingo businesses, along with you, Jeff,
Yeah.
and sponsoring a Halloween party at the park from 7 to 9 on Halloween after the village's trick or treat night. They're having a lot of things, and if the village was wanting to throw something in, you know, we're more than welcome to help out to be a sponsor. But from 7 to 9 at the park is going to be maybe what, Halloween in the park? It's
Yeah,
gonna be
we're looking
decorated.
at maybe having kids want to participate in a jack-o'-lantern decorating contest, and we always have a costume contest, and We give away free hot chocolate, free funnel cakes to whoever gets in line. Then Mark Piro DJs. And this year they're gonna use the money to get like decorations they have along the path as people come up from the parking area.
Yeah,
So just kind of build on it every year.
good, it's a good thing. Thank you. Another thing is next Thursday at 4:30, we'll have a grand opening for Paisano's Pizza. They'd like everybody, you know, if you can make it, to be up at the grand opening. It'd be 4:30, October 18th, at the new pizza shop up on a hill. And it'd be nice if, you know, you could have a lot of representatives from the village here. And that's it from me. I'll let Bob take over.
Do we want to give any money towards it?
You know,
I
council.
mean, I can't make that.
Yeah, it's up. Yeah, right. It's up to council if they want to, you know, be a part of the sponsorship. You know, we could do that.
Are we doing any kind of, I know they used to do like the parade or the donuts downstairs. We doing anything like
No,
that?
that's the Christmas party. Yeah.
I think we should then.
No.
We have a finance meeting Monday week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about
Love
that.
to see it down where we want.
I mean, you know, Jeff donated Lions Club and Mingo Business Association. So then,
Finance meeting, 15th.
Monday the 15th at 6 o'clock, the finance meeting.
Where you change it, George?
I was going to talk about it during the. I'll talk about it now if it's okay. As far as council and this finance meeting, I'm just one of the 6. But if it stays at 6, I can't make it. I neglected and forgot. I have meetings at 5 and 5:30 in Tiltonsville that same night. So me being here at 6 is not going to happen. 6:30, doubtful. 7 more likely for me. If 5 of you can make it, great. But I cannot be here at 6.
It doesn't matter to me. We can back it up if you want.
I'll be around for either time, so up to you guys.
Back it up to 7.
I don't care, do it.
Can you make
Let's
it
give
7?
everybody. Yeah, I should be here. I should be here.
Yeah.
Provided the meeting doesn't go like long
We
and
change
over. It
We
hasn't
have to
lately.
let Mark Law know if we change it.
Yeah, tell
We
him,
have enough
ask
time.
Jagger, he's the one in charge of it.
Can you do 7 o'clock? Is that all right?
Monday,
7.
finance meeting Monday at 7.
yeah.
Jags, you letting them know?
All right.
Yes.
All right. All yours, Bob.
Okay. As you see, we got permission to use the 0% money that we had before to do the grid system EQ tank. Now all we're gonna do is sit down and start looking at the numbers.
That's
What
excellent.
we're gonna do, I know, that's really.
That's beyond huge.
Yeah, you know, when you get 0% money and you can do these projects, which we have to do, it's gonna be great for us. Like I said, we should be starting out pretty soon with the SSOs as far as starting to tear up the streets here in a little bit. I just gotta look at my schedule and see where we're gonna go with it. But, you know, this is stuff that we really needed. It's gonna help this you know, this village. It'll, you know, definitely help our systems down there as far as getting that grid system put in there. I can't believe we've gone this long without a grid system, honestly. And then, like I said, you have variable frequency drives down there, and then you start getting, you know, these pumps that'll be more efficient. I see a 20-25% drop in, you know, energy usage also. So I think we got 27 years to pay it back too. But you know, I don't look at that like that. If we start,
Sorry, let me interrupt. Quick question. When do we start repaying that? Do we know, or is it
I
not
think
set
it's
yet?
normally when the construction is complete, we will start
Okay.
paying that.
Good.
Okay. But I'm just saying that for now, but I'll check in this,
Yeah.
see exactly when that will start. Okay, well, that's just, you know, I was really worried about that, but I was still going after funding at 3%. But it's great to get 0% when you're talking, you know, we might be looking at $3 or $3.5 million to get everything done. And that gets the EPA off our back. We've done everything to satisfy them. That puts, you know, our storm sewer situation behind us. We put most of that right out into the river. The storm will be going right out into the river. So our capacity at our sewage treatment plant will just, we'll have everything we need there as far as if any new businesses come in or whatever. So it really prepares us for the future. So I think it's a very good move. Well, they'll start next Tuesday, probably mobilizing down there on Commercial Avenue. Now, I got some very good numbers on that to do that construction. I am presently talking to the 3 funding sources. I want to use that money. Okay, I don't want them taking that money back, and I'm going to try to extend the scope of the project. In other words, go north and south on Commercial. Timmy and I were out actually this weekend measuring from our city limits, our village limits up, and then up into Mingo. And if I could get 2 inches of just 2 inches like we did on McClister, I think I'll have enough money to do it. But there's a big but. When government money is concerned, they approved it for a specific project, but I am pleading and begging with these folks to say, hey, they're mobilized. That road looks like Baghdad down there. I said, we got the money already approved. Come on, this is what this is for. So we'll see if I can sweet talk them and get that extended. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm hoping to get that extended because that would really help us out. Because we had that broken into 3 different sections. And if I can get those other 2 sections done right now, that's going to be a big benefit. The only problem we're going to have is Jack knows. They're going to close that road down there because we're going to move that water line, take that bridge out down George's Run. So all that truck traffic is coming on our roads, I'm pretty sure. And that might be closed for 4 months. But I am beefing up all of the asphalt. I'm using super asphalt on this project also, so it'll help. That 2 inches of mill and fill, though, I don't know if it'll hold up to all that truck traffic. But it can't be any worse than what we have down there now. Got the pool painted, and they ran out of paint. Very disappointed. Very disappointed in the folks I bought the paint from. I was very disappointed. They gave me supposedly what we had used prior to that as far as the quantity. And it looks really good. I've only seen pictures of it, but we got all the way down to the dip. I'm just ticked off, guys. I wanted that done now because it's going to get cold. I don't know if it's going to warm up enough, or that concrete's going to get warm enough to be able to do the dip or not.
Can you get it done tomorrow?
They don't have paint. They got to order it. It's a special paint, and it won't be here till I think he said Friday, and it's going to be 50 degrees. Thank you very much.
And 30 at night.
Yeah, 30 at night. So once that stuff cools off, it's.
But it does look good.
Yeah, it's it's.
Can you put heaters in there?
I don't even want to start messing with that. I don't want to start messing with that because you could get portions where it's going to get warm and other portions where it's not warm enough and it's going to start peeling off. I don't really want to deal with that. As far as the crematorium, rumor has it you're going to rescind your request for the crematorium. Is that because you stopped the ad from going in? So I'd like, if you're going to do that, we need a letter saying, hey, we're going to rescind that if you would, so that we can just put that to bed. That way we won't have to have the public meetings, which I have not put anything in the paper because you kind of told me to stop it. We continue to work on catch basins. I did find an individual to put us a new board in, about $14,000, $14,500, somewhere around there. You're going to pay pretty penny for it, especially to have somebody do it. He hasn't got back to me yet. I wanted to basically mirror what we have in there now. So, so aesthetically it'll look pretty good. But I think that we have the money. If I can get it done, I want to get it done now so that everything is set up over the winter time. AMR and AMI, I think it was AMRs that we agreed to get. AMIs were the ones when they came in here and gave us all of those demonstrations that were very, very expensive. I know you.
My
I know
question
I know
is,
she was all mad about the AMRs, but I'm almost positive that we went with AMRs.
when was this agreement made? Was it before council? Was this a committee meeting? When was?
Well, I
what
think it was when we talked here in council.
I don't have a record of that. I'm trying
Well,
to figure out when.
Well, if you want AMIs,
how long
I
ago.
got 200 AMRs right now. If you want to do AMIs, we could possibly do that, but everybody's.
It's going to be more expensive. I mean, AMI
It's going to be much more expensive,
yeah.
and you want the things you can tinker with. I don't think the normal folks need all that technology that you want. That's my personal. It's my personal preference. I know that I think that was Fallsby or who was it, Wellsburg that bought all theirs. They're all AMRs. I don't think it's old technology, George. I think it's much better technology than what we have.
Well,
So-
what we have right now is beyond ancient,
Yeah.
so that's a bad comparison.
Well, what I don't want to do is go out and spend more money on something that I don't know if we're going to have. Because I really plan on trying to get these meters within the next 2 years. I'd like to have all the meters in. Now, if AMI is going to cost us $150,000 more, personally, I don't want to go that route, but if you guys want to go that route, we can go that route.
AMR is about 5 years old. AMI gives you a lot more different information, but it all depends on how much information more you want.
What do you want?
A lot of the,
know
plus
you
this,
do.
of course, this is my perspective, I'm a numbers guy. I love, the data we get from stuff like that. In almost instantaneous data. People do like a little ping or a little notification if there's a water leak, we would know down in the office, as well as the individual themselves could have an app and recognize, hey, there's a water leak, or having atypical consumption on these hours of this day and things like that. The data, I think, is great and wonderful. It is more expensive, so there is a bigger cost to it. Me, I've been heavy for AMI for years. I brought people down here to give AMI proposals. So all those on council, those in the audience, you guys know where I stand on AMI type thing. I'm heavy for that.
I don't have a problem looking at
Now
AMI.
AMR roughly kills what we currently have, because what we have is garbage. Well, so as far as that goes, AMR is a good upgrade. But AMI is the next wave type thing, and has been the next wave. But that, of course, is my personal thought and inclination. That, as you guys know, my love for data and information is kind of boundless. It is what it is.
Does the cost, is it worth the cost, I guess?
For me,
For you, yeah.
it would be
I know,
yes.
yeah,
I don't know
know.
about the rest of the council, though.
For me, it would be no, but I don't mind looking into it. I got 200 AMRs right now. I can't return them, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna put them in. But if we're gonna go AMI, we gotta decide that like soon.
What was the cost per meter for AMI?
I don't know. I just know when we had the presentations here that I
was-
loved it.
It was big numbers for me.
I loved it. I think the one was like for 7 years, you was gonna be paying like $100,000 a year for it, and I think it petered off at the end like the $60,000. Like
And that was a
year
specialized
7.
thing. We actually bought meters. We
Yeah.
leased the metering
Yes, we did.
to a whole different company. The install, the meters,
Everything
the
they
metering,
came
the
in and
reading,
did it all.
everything was them.
I'll find out what the difference in the price of the meter. But
But also, you got to look at going to buy a couple little collectors to place in the village and things like
Mhm.
that, and a few backups.
I like the idea of it. I mean, it's great because there's one central data collection and whatever else. It's great.
And
But
as
I mean-
far as any sort of meter we do, we need to. I've been saying this, I'm going to keep on saying this, make sure it sticks with all of our minds type thing, but we got to make sure we meter everything in the village.
Yeah.
Village
Yeah, we have
owned
not gone
things,
to-
etc.
We haven't gone to this building or we haven't
Yeah,
gone to a
of
floor.
course. We got to take care of the other bigger problems right now. And additionally, it would behoove us, as we get the metering program in place, to meter different sections of the village also. This way we know how much goes into each section, then also per meter help us diagnose leaks more easily. But I don't want to belabor any more points as far as metering. So
Okay, we'll look into it. We got the resolution. You got to bring that forward during.
When you come to ordinance.
Okay. Because I got to pass that to get that to them. And like I said before, folks, the price of salt is skyrocketing for some reason. Must be like OPEC,
Yeah.
Because I know that it was, I'm almost sure it was $43 or $46 a ton last year. I know right now they're looking at 72 to 76, and then I'm hearing it might be as high as 100.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? I'll be going to Walmart and getting those more salt shakers.
Bring the bags down.
I mean, that is really ridiculous, honestly. That's just terrible. I put in for 100 ton, because I got a feeling we're gonna get hit this year. We have 2 or 3 years where we have really not had, in a decent snow, we put down, 50 ton. It goes pretty quick. Got the absorbent material, George, I finally used your grant that I got, and we're starting to put that down. And as I told Jody here, I did repair Grant Street, but it's the wrong side. They both sides needed it, so, but we'll get to the other side soon. That's not a high priority, but we will get to it. That's all I have.
Hey, Paul, what's the update? We got any update on the commercial street on the slip?
I told them last week that they're not scheduling that till next year. I told the guy, I said, that doesn't look good up there. I'm not gonna argue too much, 'cause like I said, I got them to do it, because that was gonna be ours.
Did he give you a time frame? When?
He just said next year, but I tell you, I'm gonna call him again, because it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all.
Maybe he means January.
Yeah, well, they'd be stupid to do it in the winter time, but you never know.
All right, thank you. Yes, George.
And one thing, as far as with the grant for the material for the playground, they should take a few pictures. That'll really make them really appreciative of the grant you received, and then of course more willing to give more things come next year.
And I
Yeah.
did look up bleachers for you, they go anywhere from like $2,500 to up to $8,000, depends how much you wanna go with it, you know what I mean? If you get, 21 feet and go, five steps up, you're looking at $7,000 for good bleachers. But I got a grant in, I told you, for up at the park, and I won't know anything about that probably until, probably another month or two, maybe even into January, February timeframe. So,
What kind of money can you get for what we scrap?
I don't know. I don't know what aluminum's more for these days.
On that shock absorber, we need to fix two things up there.
What's that?
The catch basin come off Logan Avenue, dumping all that dirt right down on the playground. You go to look, it's all gone because it's down in the sand.
Got two catch basins I gotta really look at hard on Logan.
Yeah, where all the mud comes off some of his property, runs down on the.
Yeah, I see that.
That catch basin is dumping right down there behind our stage.
Okay.
Something gotta be done there. If you go down and look at the park, it's gone, all that stuff's gone, it's washed out.
Behind the stage.
Oh, the shock absorber stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's gone, it's down in the sand.
Yeah, on our playground there.
Okay.
It's probably ruts as wide as this table, probably that deep.
That's coming from top of the hill,
Oh, yeah.
all the way down?
It dumps that water down through there. Salt up when it rains.
I know it gets soaked behind that stage, I know that.
I'm talking about coming down to the playground. There's a sewer down there, but it ain't catching it, missing it. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, George or Kyle's not here. Mr. Huggins, you have anything? How are we looking, all right?
Kyle's not here, who's the other one?
George.
Stoddard.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Nothing. We're in good shape right now, or?
We have kind of long to be financing. Monday, do have budgets here.
Mr. Wilson, you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Chief Sagan, you have anything?
Just want to thank council and the mayor for hiring Bobby as part-time secretary. Great help for me. We're getting a lot done. Officer Mariner, he is starting to cover the Saturday, Sunday daylight by himself. I hope that cuts down the overtime. I don't know when he's going to go out on the road by himself. He said in the middle of this month he's going to take his closed book test, but I put him on daylight, Saturday, Sunday, get him used to custom working and he'll call by himself. But that's nothing else to report, Mayor.
How's the other one going?
He's doing good. Yeah, he's doing real good.
All right.
Yes, secretary.
Chief working on it, okay. Chief Wright, do you have anything?
Yes. Donnie was holding his hand up there.
Yes.
Water, how often do we have the meters read?
Every two, you get two estimates done a read, like every third month.
Cause I got a water bill today, $300.
Let me look at it, like I said, if they read it wrong.
You take a bath the whole day? Or
Sometimes they read them
month or
wrong.
what? Jeez.
And maybe they estimated it bad. I mean, what's normally your bill up there?
It was like 106 last month. Now I got 300. That's why I don't know how long it's been since they read the meter.
Well, it's every 3 months. I mean, like I said, you go through two estimates, and if they read it wrong.
They'll estimate two,
Yeah,
and then the third one,
they read it.
I got
They read
$300.
it.
I got a $300 water bill anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, bring it down to Denise, and then she'll forward Bob, and he'll look at it.
And I'll have somebody look at,
Well,
if they have to reread it or whatever.
I'm not complaining about the $300. I'm asking how often do they read the darn
Every 3 months they
meter?
read the
Then
meter.
I got a $300 water bill. That's
Yeah. Go ahead, Chief.
Okay, as the mayor announced, the new ambulance is here. Came in last Friday, waiting on 911 center to install the 911 radios, and then we'll transfer equipment. So I would say probably the end of next week we'll have it in service. And then we'll announce the Herald Star having an open house down here. As I told all of you in the budget meeting, Captain Montgomery resigned. He was a paramedic. He's going back to school full-time for nursing and said he couldn't do that while working here full-time. So we're in need of replacing him. I'd like to talk to the mayor after this meeting. I do have a gentleman here, Austin Raymond. He was a paramedic. He's only a 36-hour firefighter, so we'll have to send him to fire academy. And in reference to myself, I put surgery off. The surgery that they wanted to do was a corrective surgery. It would put me off work for 6 months and a 40% failure rate. So, and if that fails, then they go with a salvage surgery. So now we're doing injection therapy. If that doesn't work, I go straight to salvage surgery. So I take 6 months off and it possibly not work and have to go to salvage surgery. So for now, I'm going to continue to work with a different brace on, and hopefully we won't have any further issues. Just dealing with it day by day. So, but that's all I have.
John, just going to ask you a question. You said he's a 36-hour firefighter. What do you, explain that a little bit.
36 hour is the lowest certification. He's actually not allowed to do interior firefighting. That is basically mandated for volunteer firefighters. The next step up is a Fire 1 certified, which is like 170 hours. They can do some interior firefighting, but the training that's needed for a career firefighter is a Fire 2, which is like 300 hours. And we can either do it through an outreach program and have them continue to work here, or send him to State Fire Academy for a month and a half, and he'll be gone and we'll have to fill those shifts. So, but I would rather hire somebody. I have a couple guys that are, one's an intermediate, one's a basic EMT, but they're both Fire 2 certified. Or I could hire somebody that's a paramedic, which I feel is a lot harder to get, as we found out with the last guy that we hired, and I never completed it. So it's a lot easier to get that fire certification than it is the paramedic. So I think it would be best to put the paramedic on and then send him to the fire academy or through the outreach.
Is Brandon going to fill turns, extra turns?
Yes, he said he would still fill in and work turns.
Now, for people who don't know, explain an outreach.
Outreach is going through like Belmont Tech, or the other local one is Buckeye Career Center out in New Philadelphia. They'll do it. It's a Wintersville Fire might sponsor one, which I think they have one coming up, don't they? Wintersville, they don't. They were talking to have one locally. We could send them locally, and it'll be like 2 days a week, say a Wednesday evening and a Saturday all day. So I would say it'll probably take about 3 months to obtain that. We do have a year to send him for his Fire 2 certification. So again, my recommendation would be the paramedic, especially being if I would go off for 6 months or retire, and Assistant Chief Rahal would retire, which is rumored to be the beginning of the year, then we're going to be in big trouble and only have one paramedic here then.
How often will Brandon fill in, do you know?
How long before
I
he
mean,
will?
how often, do you
Oh,
have any idea?
just whatever he's available for. That's the problem with the guys that are part-time. On the rotation, we're allowed to have 2 of them on the rotation according to the full-time contract. I mean, it's at their will, whatever they offer us, I can't force them to work. So this past 2 weeks, Brandon finished up this past Wednesday, so all the shifts since then, I've been having to fill on rotation, costing us overtime, so we need to address that pretty soon.
If he goes to academy, we're looking for a month and a half.
Yes.
I know he's married, got kids, right?
I'm not married. I
Got
have 2
kids?
kids, but I'll see them on the weekends. We already,
I know, but
already made arrangements. I mean, I think it'd be better for the academy because it's just like a month and a half. This, I'll have to go 2 or 3 days. And then the next one starts, it's the Fire 1 in Belmont. It's January 1st, they start that class. But then I'll get my Fire 1, but I'm still going to have to find a Fire 2 somewhere.
where's the academy?
They have classes every month and a half, so I have to call you to schedule. Fire Academy is about $10,000. The outreach program is probably $5,500.
If we do this, are you gonna have any kind of contract where you have to stay with the
I'll
village
definitely
for
sign one if they
a period of time,
Yeah.
if we're gonna spend that kind of money?
And The only other thing I had, I think Paul already mentioned the slip, or you mentioned it up on Logan Avenue on ramp. There's actually a second slip developing a little further up. And, yeah, if they don't address that soon, come winter.
Didn't you say the state was gonna?
State's gonna take care of that
That's
slip there. I'm
On
gonna actually
their
call
own
the
time
guy.
frame.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the guy, because I even told him when he said,
When they get around to it.
well, when he said it was put off the next year, I
It's
said.
like that bridge up by
You
St.
guys
Agnes
take
Church,
care
they
of
say
that.
everything's okay, but you go down Tiltonsville and all the areas, everybody's getting new bridges. The guy says ours is, and the cement's cracked on the sidewalk and everything.
I mean, where they put the barricades up, the slip's actually a little further south of that, so if somebody goes off the road before that, they're still going over that embankment.
I'm gonna call him up. I'm out tomorrow, but I'll call him up Thursday and say, you know, you might wanna come look at this. You might wanna rethink putting this off till next year.
And that's all I have, thank you.
The word to our mercy, folks.
Let me ask you questions on the,
Unless we wanna go with the bill, we don't.
Step on 309 Lock. Has anything been done with that house up there, or that garage up there?
Oh, okay, across from Huggins. The problem is that is it's not actually owned by a resident, it is owned by a financial institution. So again, I'm gonna tell you how hard that is getting them into court. They've been cited.
They've been
But
cited.
it's just a matter of trying to get anything solved with it. Same with the banks.
Johnny, how did you guys find out it was owned by a business or something, and not owned by the individual?
Jim just goes online through the courthouse, the county courthouse, punch in the partial, the address and all that, and he listed it there, who owns it.
The auditor's
It's
office.
owned out of somebody from Dallas, Texas.
I have a hard time believing that the landlord was putting all that money into getting everything repaired and stuff, and all of a sudden he doesn't know it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's owned by a financial institution out of Dallas, Texas.
We get any other on citations, anybody getting things done, or?
Jim's still going out and about whenever we get time. I mean, like I said, it's tough trying to get out to do that.
Yeah.
Handling the building and emergency calls and
And
everything.
then we lost Brandon too,
Yeah,
because he was
gradually we're
certified,
getting
yeah.
out.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, yeah, see me after meeting.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Finance Committee. Anything on finance, or, okay, Kyle's not here, so, anything on finance, Mr. Huggins?
That's the meeting next Monday at 7 o'clock here.
Okay. Adam, anything on ordinance?
We do have we will address the resolution at this time. We do have a resolution to read 2018-21, in regards to the ODOT winter contract, allowing Bob to pursue that. Before we read that, I would also like to schedule a meeting of the ordinance committee, to discuss the ordinance as mentioned by Mr. Totter, that we currently have on the books, possibly looking at that to see what we might need to do to amend that to include not just recreational vehicles, but also, other trailers of other types. Like you said, no one should have these in the front yard anywhere. But I'd like to schedule a meeting where we can discuss that and see what we can do. And I'm flexible, so either George or Jeff, let me know what works for you guys.
Did you want us to do the 23rd right before our next council meeting? Would that be okay?
Could do that. That works for me, so. That's good for you, Jeff? Good time. Let's say 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Can you guys discuss the trees, bushes, and
Yeah.
shrubs and stuff at that time as well? See what we can do on that.
And before we read the resolution also, I'm not sure what would fit in that, but Mayor, you had appointed the committee for the rules of council, and I'd like to schedule a meeting. I believe you appointed myself, Satch, and Jack. So I'd like to at least schedule that first meeting where we can begin discussing that and maybe set up a framework to where we can start working something together. So whatever day or time is good for you guys, let me know. We'll see what we can set up.
How soon you want to do it?
Well, this week I'm gonna be out of town for work the rest of this week, and then we have that finance meeting on Monday at 7. I don't know if you guys, if we can even come a half hour early, if you guys are available that day. Monday at 6:30, Monday the 15th at 6:30.
That's fine.
Okay. That would be the rules of council. All right, then, so do you want to go ahead and read the 2018-21 resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT winter contract 2018-2019 for road salt? Yeah, as Bob mentioned, the date on here, even though it's passed, it's, there wasn't very good communication on this, so they're reopening this up, so, you don't need to read through this whole thing or anything.
No, you read by title
Just by title
only.
only, right?
You
Okay.
gotta suspend the rules.
Okay. I read it the first time and then suspend rules, all right. Resolution 2018-21, a resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT winter contract 2018-2019 for road salt.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that the rule required and the resolutions be read by title only on 3 separate occasions, be dispensed with, and ordinance or resolution number 218-21 be given its second and third readings at this time by title only and placed before this council for its final passage or rejection.
Shoots.
Yes.
Fielder.
Yes.
Urban.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Harry.
Yes?
Patel.
Yes.
Well, I can read it, second and third. Resolution 2018-21, resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT winter contract 2018-19 for road salt. Resolution 2018-21, a resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT winter contract 2018-19 for road salt.
Make a motion that 2018-19 be adopted as signed.
I'll second.
Eric.
Yes?
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Urban.
Yes.
Patel.
Yes.
Shoots. Fielder.
Yes.
Okay. That's been adopted. So, Jody, anything on safety?
No, not at this time.
Jack, anything on service, building roads or transportation?
No, Mayor.
I got something.
Yes, Jeff.
Estes went their property in the front of the road. She said it's, I don't know, something's going wrong with it. She's afraid customers are gonna slip. And it's on the actual road, not on her property.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
There's something wrong with the road though, right?
Something wrong with the road. She just told me to ask you about it.
I also had a complaint about the road, and I think I sent it to you, about George Street, the alley behind. It was being blocked several times. If we could kind of keep our eye on that or start issuing citations if they're parking on the yellow lines or they're
We
blocking.
have no yellow lines up there anymore.
No?
They're faded off. I got a problem with the end of my alley.
Really?
In front of that 311 Western, you're parking there and you can't get in and out of the alley. It's too tight. Garbage truck and snow truck's gonna have a lot of problems at the end of that alleyway.
We have an ordinance, you can't park in an alleyway. So we said, we took care of the problem in George Street, must maybe have some new tenants moved in there.
I think they did.
Yeah, we have to advise them, because we talked to them before and the problem was resolved.
Okay.
I got one on the road, Bob, when you get up to Five Corners and you make the turn on Shamrock there, right there, that, we smooth that out a little bit right there. It looks like there's potholes right in front of that house that Mary Korovic's mother lived in, Jack, right there. Right in front of the,
That's a big hole right there by the.
yeah, there's a big hole by the catch
Yeah, right
basin.
above there, yeah.
Yeah, when you make that turn.
You can't miss it.
All right, Adam, anything on streetlights, sidewalks?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
George, anything on water and sewage?
Nothing else not yet mentioned that I can think of.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Jack, anything on cemetery parks recreation?
I did, I asked Bobby about the park, if the bathrooms are closed. He doesn't think so, so I'll make sure that they're not closed down. Make sure the bathrooms are working for you guys on Halloween. But they're already shut down, I can't in a month.
It's the 31st, right?
Yeah.
31st.
If they already winterized them, I'm not gonna tell them to do it over again. I don't know what George has been doing, I don't know.
Tell them to hold it.
You saw George hold it.
No. I'm at the people coming up. We'll tell them to hold it.
Porta John's
Yeah,
sponsored
we
by
had
Shoot
a,
Hammer.
Don't go
Yeah,
back.
Shoot Hammer and Porta John.
We had a phone conversation with Joe Johns from First National Bank. We couldn't have all three of us on there. I could only add 2 people. So I then called Jeff. I added Adam, and then I called Jeff and let him know everything that had transpired. They have gotten the report from Ohio Insurance Company, and they will be looking at it to give us a quote. So hopefully we're going to have 2 quotes coming in for our health insurance this year.
That's it?
Yep.
Jeffrey, anything on senior citizens?
Yeah, I got, right during that
Where
little
you going,
elevator.
Jeff? I didn't know you had changed your name.
You didn't know I was here, did you? Anyhow, right there, right on the north side of the building, they piled up a bunch of rocks and bricks right there. And one of the guys says, them are window busters. Some kid's crashing or somebody wants to break a window. That's still sitting there, been sitting there for about 4 or 5 days now. They cleaned that alley out, put that little slag in there, right next to the building. And they picked all them rocks up and they brought them out on the sidewalk on the corner right there of the building, of the center. And nobody's picking them up, nobody's cleaning them up.
We'll take a look at it.
Also, that really hard rain we had here last week, that downpour we had, the gutter on the south side must have filled up pretty good because the water come in the ladies' restroom a little bit. And it soaked the tan off her, so I dried that all out. And it ain't been leaking since. There was a light rain, but when a heavy downpour, it just overflows on that gutter and then gets under the roofing.
Yeah, maybe there's a
Yeah,
bunch of
probably
leaves
and
in
shit
there.
it.
Once he gets caught up, obviously.
Yeah. Putting it down.
But them rocks, I'm concerned about them rocks. If somebody gets mad, they're gonna,
Who put them there? Do you know, was that Jim Friley's tenant that put them there, do you think?
it belongs to the, what's his name, who?
How many's there? Couple sticks.
I mean, rock, a big pile.
Is that Jim Friley's building you're talking about, that one where the alley's are, right?
Right
I
there,
mean, not the alley, but
between the buildings, yeah.
the old
They
hardware
put-
store.
They
Yeah.
put that slag in and they put all them boulders and bricks right there.
The Christian.
They're all hand throwers.
Throw them in your van. Take them down and dump them.
Satcher, Bobby, you got anything from the BHJ?
No, I just got Bob dropped it off to me, and I was going through the minutes, but there was nothing in there as far as concerning
Adam,
anything
anything on
around here.
annexation?
Huh? Oh, okay, go ahead.
No report, Mayor.
Alright, George, anything economic development?
Yes. Just one thing really to make important note of. The Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council. I don't know, have you appointed 2 members for that yet?
No.
Okay. Because once you appoint 2, then council has to appoint, I think, 2 also. Let's see, yeah. And then 1 from the Planning Commission to then comprise that type of thing. We haven't any takers type thing for that because, again, part of that's automatic once they apply, but there's not a whole bunch of new housing coming in yet, we should say. And there's not a whole bunch of people, I don't think even really aware of it on the commercial side type thing. Might have to do a little bit better job, do some PR on that, but once you get 2, then we'll go up and we'll make our 2. We'll press from there. That's all at this time, Mayor.
Thank you, George. Mr. Herrick, anything on the revitalization committee?
No.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further. Thanks, I don't really say anything.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Jody's make a motion to adjourn.
What's up?
You got a second? Second. Second.
Good job.
Shoot.
Yes.
Fielder.
Yes.
Urban.
Yes.
Are we going into the executive session?
Fitzgerald.
You didn't need that?
Yeah. Yes.
Eric?
Eric?
You need
Yes.
executive session.
Raquel.
Yes, to talk to the mayor.
No.
Okay.
It's a 1 hour meeting.
Oh,
first step.
Bob, before you leave, I just have one thing to show and ask you real quick.
Ernie,
It's like
that's
a
it.
quick 2-minute thing.